Thank you so very much for inviting me to speak with you today. As you know, my name is Rohan Maharaj. I'm from the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, and I'm here today to talk to you about some of the challenges that we've identified in the public health, the international health arena. And I'd like to start first by saying that there's an opportunity here in 2011 which I think the world needs to take, and that is the opportunity of the high-level meeting on CNCDs. As you know, this meeting has been led by the Caribbean. It's the first time that any global force of the United Nations has come together to talk about chronic diseases. We've had the same similar type meeting for HIV, and this radicalized how HIV was identified as a force and how it was dealt with. So I think that this opportunity in 2011 is something that the world has not stepped back to look at the importance of it. And I think that we really need to take the opportunity to address chronic diseases in a new way. Coming out of the UNGAS meetings, HIV was revolutionized. It became on the global agenda. Money was put behind it, serious money. And we know today that a lot of the success on HIV came from that meeting. And I think that what we in the Caribbean would like to propose is that the same attempt is made now for CNCDs. We've been working together within our countries, talking to the people, trying to get to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Unfortunately, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs don't usually have a help desk. And so that there's been a challenge for us to get to meet them. But one of the things that our university and working in the groups at our faculty have said that we need to commit a small proportion of the health budget every year, maybe even the national budget towards CNCDs, revolutionize the approach. Even if it was to take 5% of the HIV money and put it into CNCDs, it may have an impact beyond what we have seen before. And I think we now have the technology for HIV. A lot of it is looking at issues around the obesity epidemic, the diabetes epidemic, and we're developing the structures to understand why these epidemics have occurred. A lot of it, of course, is based on trade, global trade, the introduction of foods that populations had never been exposed to before through a liberalization that we've now come to realize to be a real force to be reckoned with. So I think that's the first thing. That one, we should take the opportunity in 2011 to address the CNCD epidemic through the high-level meeting. The second thing I wanted to, sorry, yes, you wanted to ask me? Yes. Yeah, the second thing I think that we in Latin America and the Caribbean have a real challenge with, and I'm not sure how we deal with, is looking at the issue of handguns. For me, I think that we, for example, in Trinidad, we don't produce handguns, but handguns are decimating our young men. And the life expectancy in some populations in our country, the life expectancy among males is probably about 35 years old, where the national average is 70, 75 for men. So I think that there are challenges here. How do we recognize, deal with the production of handguns? How do we, maybe in Latin America and the Caribbean, negotiate with people who manufacture? How do we address these issues around violence, the issues around drug use, and the illegality of drugs? I mean, I want to recommend that we need to start thinking about, and I say this, probably I'm going to be crucified for this, but can we continue the war on drugs as it is? We're not winning. It's 30 years, and that now fuels all the crime. Look what's happening in northern Mexico. But that's an issue, and that's a very political issue. And the last thing I want to just talk to you about is a dream. We've had a huge success in public health in the last 5 years, and that success is in tobacco. Right? The Framework Convention for Tobacco Control has revolutionized, I think, how we need to look at how we in public health, how we in international health use our resources to advocate for change. I think that we should try to do for alcohol what we've done to tobacco. I know we enjoyed a nice glass of wine last night, but I'm not talking about alcohol at that level. I'm talking about, putting much more stricter cultural and societal controls on alcohol availability and utilization. In Trinidad, as you know, again, I might be crucified for this, but carnival is at the center of our culture, and an integral part of that is alcohol use. We have our young people sometimes inculcated in the family level, at the level of the family, in the use of alcohol. We need to change that. Alcohol should be enjoyed, but with very great moderation. and should not be part of every single celebration. It should be celebrated, yes, but with care. It's a dangerous drug in the wrong hands, and a lot of our young people, a lot of our older people suffer from the effects of alcohol. So I hope that you will enjoy my three topics that I think that we should spend some more time to. CNCDs, and look out for the high-level meeting in 2011, looking at the issue of violence, handguns, and drug enforcement, and where we're going with that, I don't know. I'm not sure. We're not winning the battle. We need to reevaluate that process. And finally, I want to do for alcohol what we've done for tobacco, if not as severe as for tobacco, maybe at a limited level. So it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope that you enjoyed my ideas. Thank you.
Thank you.